Hey all, it's Jan of the Jan Files. Thank you for being here. I especially want to thank my Blue Sky peeps for supporting me trying to build back my YouTube channel and adding to the subscribers, adding to the likes, because it's been a disaster. So anyway, thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to talk today about something that's really pissing me off, but I know that I am not alone. Okay. I am so fucking done hearing people don't want Medicare for all, or that it's socialism, or that we're not going to be able to go to our doctors, or that I like my insurance company, which is probably stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Somebody liking their health care insurance, right? You like your health care. Okay, whatever. I don't know, go back to sleep. The situation, the setup right now benefits only one group, and that's the very wealthy. And the reason that they really primarily benefits them is not only because they can afford to pay whatever they need to pay for their family, or despite whatever disease they can afford to live. Many of us cannot. And I'm so done, because I want to tell you my little story here. I've seen to have these stories recently. Normally my family goes on vacation this summer. We go, not big ones. We drove to Montreal last year. Yes, Canada. And we occasionally have gone in the winter, maybe to the Bahamas for a week. We used to have a timeshare there. Thank God we got rid of that. And whatever. But, we haven't gone on extravagant vacations. I hope to do so one day, to take my kids to Europe. But anyway, that's not where we are. And this year, we're going nowhere. Zippo. Endo. Fuck it. I can't afford it. Why? Well, I made sure before my girls are going to college. Now, my oldest one is going to be going to junior year. My youngest is going into freshman year. I also not obviously, but I have a husband. And I said, we all signed up for this new dentist because the last one, anyway. My husband goes and he needs $7,000 worth of work, one root canal and other things. And we're not a family who hasn't gone to the dentist. Okay. I mean, we were aware we was going to need some work, but $7,000. My youngest needs 4 of her wisdom teeth removed. I do have dental insurance, but it doesn't cover that. So that could be another anywhere $3,000, $4,000. And then the pièce de résistance is my older daughter, despite having gone to dentists her entire life, all of a sudden needs braces. Yeah, you heard me, braces. That's another $7,700. So I'm looking at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000. That is unexpected. Okay, that my insurance that I have doesn't cover. And some of it will cover if it happened next year, because you have to wait a year before they'll cover certain things. This is fucking obscene. And this is just me. I mean, yeah, I consider this a big deal because, your dental health is incredibly important, especially as you age. Hello. And no, if you're wondering, I didn't need it. Thank you. But how can families absorb this kind of expense? How? I don't understand what people think when they say they don't want Medicare for all, because it would include dental work. It would include the fact that you don't have to pay a deductible, a premium, co-pays. I mean, depending how structured, we would literally be looking at having to pay nothing to stay healthy. Now, how do we pay for it? Everybody says, oh yeah, well that's convenient, but how do we pay for it? We are already paying And let me give you the exact numbers so you get the thing. We spend, and this was 2024, $5.3 trillion on healthcare in the United States. Per person, that looks like $15,500. Now, I'm already going to be paying that on just my dentist alone, okay? And the share of our GDP, it's 18% of our GDP spent on healthcare. Some places like Canada or England or Italy, it's 10 to 12%. Now, the other thing that happens is a lot of this money is going to administrative work, the paperwork, the signing people up, all of that. Now, private insurers spend about $158 billion on administrative costs. Medicare and Medicaid is another $56 billion. That's what we're spending, folks. And to say that we don't have the money is absurd. It's even more absurd when you think of the money that we're spending things on now. Like $37 billion for a war of choice where Americans, our service people, are getting killed for no fucking reason. Yeah, you're okay with spending that, but you want to say, oh, we can't afford Medicare. Yes, we can afford Medicare. And it would be major changes. And yes, most Medicare policies would say no more of the other private insurance. So yes, folks, it will be socialized medicine. But it's sort of like just like Social Security, which is socialized. Or the fire department, which we all pay for, right? Comes in from our taxes into fire departments and police departments. That's socialized. Do you understand that? I mean, is that a hard concept to grasp? And the fact is that when anybody tells you it's communism and socialism, you can describe it as socialism. So fucking what? You're not going to have to pay a premium, a copay. You're going to be able to keep healthy. You're going to be able to know that your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your sister, your brother can afford to make sure that they don't die because they lack the funds to get cancer care or get prescriptions that cost stupid amounts of money. And yes, we can be like the rest of the civilized world and have universal health care. Now, how it happens, the different things, you're not going to, most of it would be that, let's say, a lot of different policies, handle the Medicare-for-all different. One of the things that they do is say that your private care doctor has to participate in the system. And if they take away private health insurance, which is part of healthcare, Medicare, that the doctor would then, if they didn't want to participate in the system, would be able to charge you whatever they wanted, and you could pay whatever you want. I'm sorry. I understand the importance of doctors to people, but at the end of the day, I'm not suggesting that there are people that we should allow to die because you don't want to fucking maybe change your doctor. Okay? The level of stupidity, greed, selfishness, and just plain old stupidity when it comes to this is staggering. Staggering, absolutely staggering. Now, you know how, actually, Medicare-for-all, a version of this, was proposed way back in the 40s. Did you know that? Yeah, Truman. End of the 40s, maybe beginning of the 50s. And do you know that that health insurers started out as nonprofits? So it was affordable. So when people say, well, it used to be affordable. Yeah, way, way back, it was affordable when they were nonprofit. They're not nonprofit anymore. And as we know, their CEOs are making hundreds of millions of dollars and people are dying. Now, one of the reasons that it didn't happen then and hasn't happened subsequently is that doctors who are specialists, the AMA, the guys, mostly white guys, although that's changing now, thank God, objected to not being able to make as much money. They wanted to say to you, I'm going to charge you whatever I think is right. They're a part of the group that stopped it. Now, I think there are a lot more doctors now that would probably advocate for Medicare-for-all, but the whole point is that there's another group of people, the elite, that want to keep the for-profit system. They want their colleagues to benefit from getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Now, I'm not talking about other doctors. I'm talking about this whole elite, this whole corporate thing that stands up here saying, well, let's squish this part of the population down, which typically, I think they forget sometimes that there are a lot of white people under here, okay, that are they're not as wealthy as the rest of you motherfuckers, okay? So this is absurd that we, in this day and age, are literally letting people die because they can't afford health insurance, or they can't, or health insurance isn't covering what they need to have covered. And yes, we can abolish, like, buy horse and buggy, buy for-profit insurers, or let them stick around. Okay, maybe just let them stick around. Okay, and have the people that want to not have to pay part of Medicare. Like, how many people are going to stay on for-profit health insurance that costs them a fortune, except the wealthy? And if they object to this socialized medicine, fuck them. Don't take Social Security, folks, because that Medicare is all socialism. And the fact is, because you're afraid of the word, although you're now seeming to be switched to communism, which is so fucking stupid. If you're one of those people, you're a dumbass. Nobody's communist here. You don't even know what the fucking word means. So at this point, we need to make sure that we are voting for people who believe in the right to live in the United States and not die because you can't afford to be treated. And as you know, the Republicans are all behind the for-profit insurance companies. They took care of them in the big, beautiful bill. People from that legislation are going to lose more insurance. 27 million Americans are uninsured. 41% are underinsured. Medical debt is at the 100. Let me make sure I get this right. Approximately $220 billion in medical debt owed by Americans who couldn't afford it. This is not how we should be living. And this is not taking care of Americans. So anyway, that was a big rant. The level of fucking ignorance is staggering. And I'm so fucking done.